Good morning, friends. Thank you for joining me here today. If you're new here, my name is Sarah, and I have 4 kids that we're homeschooling. They are 10, 8, 6, and 3, and I'm so thrilled that you are joining me for this topic today. If you are trying to figure out what kind of homeschool schedule and routine you want to have, hopefully this video will be helpful to you today. I want to share with you how we do our homeschool week and why we chose to do a 4-day school week instead of 5, and what that kind of looks like. So stay tuned. So go ahead and tell me in the comments below how old your kids are and what your current homeschool weekly schedule looks like. It's so nice to get to know each other that way, and I just love the discussions that we can have in the comments. So definitely take advantage of this awesome homeschooling community that we have here. If you are new here, my channel is all about homeschooling and life as a family of 6. If that interests you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below, and go ahead and do me a big favor and hit that like button for me. All right, let's get into it. So let me give you a little backstory, right? It always comes with that. So we have been homeschooling since the beginning of time. Back when my first child was a preschooler, we started homeschooling. And so we have had many different schedules and routines throughout the years. You know, as our kids grow and are in different grades, different age levels, we're gonna have different schedules to match that. We've been kind of changing things throughout the years and just making tweaks here and there for what's gonna work best for us. And I think that's what's so nice and freeing about homeschooling, is that you are in control, not the government, of your homeschool, and you can make that schedule. And so maybe you and or your husband have a weird work schedule, and you know, the typical Monday through Friday doesn't work for you. That's what's so great, is that you can literally make it whatever days you need it to be to work best for your schedule. You could do school at nighttime instead of the morning, you know what I mean? Like, you can change it up to fit into your schedule. And I do love that. Over here, my husband has a wedding photography business, and I help to manage that. And so he is shooting on a lot of Saturdays. Sometimes his weddings are on Fridays, but he has a lot of Saturdays that he's shooting. And so it is nice for us to like maybe change things up here and there and have a family day on a random weekday without missing out on schoolwork. So we can really shift things around to make it work for our schedule. That was a tangent. Let's go back to the backstory. So way back when we started homeschooling, you know, when your kid is preschool age, they really don't need a lot of formal school time. They are mostly learning through play, which is fantastic. So we typically did like maybe 3 days a week of like formal schoolwork, and even that was really short, like 30 minutes, maybe more, but not a whole lot. It just doesn't take a lot of time. And even into kindergarten, 3 days a week can work well if you need it to. With my first, I think we did 4 days a week, and then as I had more kids and I was already homeschooling the older ones, like 3 days a week was kind of the most I could muster up. But we've made that work, and it's worked well. And so we stuck to like that 4-day schedule through 2nd grade. But then when my oldest hit 3rd grade, I was like, whoa, this is like a big deal. Like 3rd grade, real school, like harder, more difficult schooling, longer assignments that you're gonna have to do. So in my mind, I was like, I think we need to do a 5-day-a-week school schedule, especially with the types of curriculums that we were using at the time. Like, it just needed to be 5 days, at least is what I thought. And so we did that. We did that for his whole 3rd grade year and through half of the 4th grade year. So by the time we got to like February of his 4th grade year, which was just this past February, 2022, I was so burnt out. Whew. I think that happens to most homeschool moms, right? Like February is such a like dead winter time where you don't have the excitement of Christmas anymore, and you're looking at all your curriculum that you have left to accomplish, and you're like, ooh, this is gonna be a rough couple of months. So that's kind of where I was. And then I watched a video from Christy over at One Blessed Mess. If you haven't been to her channel before, I'll leave a link to it below. But I love her, and her channel is awesome. She has great homeschooling information and tips and advice. And she had a video about a fun school Friday. And I know I've heard other homeschoolers doing this before, but it just hit me at the exact right time. You know how that happens sometimes where you hear the same advice over and over, and then finally it's the right time for you to hear it, and it finally hits just right. That was that moment. And I'm listening to that going, yes, yep, that's what we need. That's gonna be the solution to my burnout. Whew. So right then and there, I go and I look at our weekly schedule and I'm like, how can we tweak this so that we can have this fun school Friday? I want this, I need this in our homeschool. I just wasn't really happy with the homeschool atmosphere we had going on at the time. It just felt like we were just doing book work and really not leaving room for the one thing that I think is so cool about homeschooling, which is pursuing your own interests. And so I'm sitting there going, yeah, we need this time. We need this extra day to get away from worksheets and really just pursue whatever it is that they're interested in. So that's kind of where it started. So my solution to that was to look at their curriculum and figure out which days they could double up different subjects so that we could still accomplish the same amount of schoolwork in a week, but have that Friday off. And so I sat down with the kids and I was like, hey, here's this idea. We could have this fun school Friday, but it's gonna require you to do a little bit of extra work each day leading up to that day. What do you think? And they were all about it. They were like, yeah, we can do an extra lesson in order to have a fun day. So they were on board, which is half the battle, right? So we went ahead and that next week tried it out, and it was such a breath of fresh air. Like, it was exactly what I needed to revive our homeschool, revive my homeschool spirit, and get us back to a place where we were enjoying it again. And so what does that fun school day look like? Let's talk about that for a minute. So let me show you what our 4-day-a-week schedule looks like for this year. So my oldest is now in 5th grade, and his schedule has 5 English lessons that he needs to get done a week and 5 history lessons that he needs to get done a week. So he just has one day where he gets 2 histories done and one day where he gets 2 Englishes done. And then the other 2 days, he actually doesn't have anything else that he needs to double up, because we only do spelling 3 days a week, we only do math 3 days a week, and we only do science 2 days a week. So actually squeezing everything into just 4 days was pretty simple for his schedule. Now this is going to vary depending on what type of curriculum you're using, but this has worked pretty well for us. If you are curious what different types of curriculums we're using, I'll leave links below to the videos where I shared our different choices that we're using for this year. I guess you could call us eclectic homeschoolers if you want to put a brand on it, but basically we mix and match a lot of different curriculums all into one year, because I just have FOMO and I need to try all the different curriculums. So we mix and match, but I'll leave links to those videos below so you can check that out. And then for my 3rd grade daughter, she is using The Good and the Beautiful for language arts, and that is already set up to be a 4-day-a-week school schedule, so that worked out beautifully for us. And again, we only do science 2 days a week and math 3 days a week, so she doesn't have to double up anything. And then I just have a 1st grader and a preschooler, so they don't have to double up anything. So this schedule actually works super well. It was pretty easy to tweak our 5-day schedule and put it into 4 days. Today's video is sponsored by CreativeFabrica.com, and I want to just say a huge thank you to them for sponsoring this video, and I want to share with you a little bit about their website real quick, because I think it could be a huge resource in your homeschool. They have an area of the website that is very similar to Teachers Pay Teachers. They've got all these resources that you can access, but what's really great is they have a teacher club card, which gives you access to more than 10,000 digital teaching resources for just $2.99 for the whole year. So you can get access to all of their teaching resources for just $3 a year. It's kind of a no-brainer. So with this subscription, you're allowed to download up to 5 digital downloads per week and 260 per year. There's no obligations, you can cancel at any time. And if you have resources that you'd like to sell on their website, the fees are paid out 100% to the teachers. And they have new resources that are being added daily. I really love being able to use this site for being able to find themed resources. So during the different holidays, you can go on there and get themed worksheets that are really really cute and just make schoolwork really fun for the kids. So I have a special link for creativefabrica.com down below in the description box for you. So definitely go and check them out, and hopefully those resources can be super helpful in your homeschool. Okay, so what does this magical fun school day look like? I will tell you, it varies every single week. In my mind, when I first wanted to do this, I wanted to have a day where they could just tell me what it is they're interested in, and we can look that up. We can watch videos on YouTube or go to the library and pick out books. Maybe it's an art project that we never fit into our normal school day, so let's do an art project or a baking project or a science experiment. Things like that that maybe we wouldn't be doing throughout our normal school week, but we have this special day set aside where yeah, we have the time to do any of those things that you want to do. So sometimes it looks like that. Other weeks, we like to go out and see the world, go on field trips, go to a museum, children's museum, zoo, wildlife center, wherever. And I really like to get together with another homeschooling family to do those kinds of fun things, so they can be hanging out with their friends and I can be hanging out with my friends. So that is a really fun way to spend that day. And then it's also just nice to have a fifth day just kind of baked into the equation that you could have off if you need to have it off. Maybe we have doctor's appointments, or the car needs to get fixed, or we need to do some major cleaning because somebody's coming to visit, or maybe somebody is here visiting. We've got family from out of town, friends from out of town. Maybe we are going back home to Virginia to visit family. So it's just nice to have that extra day in our schedule where it's not like I'm then having to figure out how to make up that schoolwork that we've missed. We've already done it, and we've got this extra day where if we need to be visiting with other people, we've got that time. So I really love having that flexibility of that fifth day. And also, that is not a Fun School Friday for us. It's really a floating Fun School day. It could be any day of the week, whatever works best for, you know, whatever it is we're trying to go do, or depending on what the rest of the week looks like. Especially if we're trying to get together with someone else, then maybe we need to base that day off of what's best for them. So it's just nice to have that day floating, and we can put it wherever it fits best into our schedule. So if you have been thinking that trying to do homeschool 5 days a week is just overwhelming and too hard, and you just don't have time for it, good news, you could do it in 4 days. You can. And what's great is you're in control. If you've already started your school year with a 5-day-a-week school schedule, you can make the tweaks and changes and change that into a 4-day-a-week school schedule whenever you're ready. Like you get to decide that. So you do not have to wait until the next year to implement this. You can do it whenever you feel like you're ready. So this has been a huge blessing to our homeschool. I'm very thankful that we made the switch, and I love the schedule now. The kids love the schedule, and it really helps keep us all from getting burnt out. So hopefully that is all helpful to you and will be super helpful in your homeschool. I hope that you are having an amazing school year so far, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks so much for joining me today. Happy schooling.